everyone, I'm Rachel and today I'm joined by Zalia. As we head towards the Christmas season, it's time to start thinking about your perfect party makeup look. So today we're going to show you how to create your perfect festive makeup using Sigma.
We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
So Zalia already has her base on as she's been hard at work all day, so now we're going to show you how to transform your look from desk to dance floor. Before we start, we're going to use a soft focus setting powder on the F40 large angled contour brush, and we're just going to pop a little bit of powder underneath Zalia's eyes. This will really help us when we put the eyeshadow on to make sure that we don't get any fall down that's going to ruin our base. So we're just going to take a small amount of powder onto the brush and just tap off any excess. And then we're going to use the shape of the brush to just help us put a little bit of powder underneath the eye area. It doesn't matter if it's a thicker amount at the moment, because at the end we're going to dust this powder away. The palette that we're using today is the Sigma Warm Neutrals palette. This is a beautiful palette which contains 14 highly pigmented shades in all gorgeous warm neutral tones that are absolutely perfect for the winter months. There's a really nice selection of finishes within this palette too, so you have your mattes, shimmers, frosted, metallics and glitters, so you can create a number of different looks using just the one palette. And also included in the palette is a dual-ended brush to help you apply the shades and blend them to perfection. So whether you're looking to create a lovely, warm, neutral, smoky eye for the daytime, or you want to fancy things up for your Christmas party, this is the perfect palette to take you from your desk to the dance floor. So we're going to start our party eye look by using this shade here, which is called Toasty, and we're using the E45 small tapered blending brush. So once you've got your colour onto your brush, you just want to tap it off a little bit just to make sure that you don't get excess fall down. And then we're just going to nestle the brush into the natural contour of the eye and use circular blending motions just to blend that colour in. And we're going the whole way across the lid to the outer corner. To diffuse the edges of the eyeshadow, I'm just going to go in with the E40 tapered blending brush. And again, we're just going to use a circular motion, letting the brush do the work for us, just to give us that nice diffused edge. Next, we're going to use this shade Henna, and we're going to use the E70 medium angled shading brush. This is going to help us to create the shape that we want on the lids. So we're just using this colour on the outer corner of the eye just to build a little bit of depth. And we're just taking it up into the socket line where we put our transition colour. And we're just doing a packing motion at the moment. We will come back in and blend this in a moment. Now we're just switching back to the E40 blending brush just to diffuse those edges. And blending an upwards motion and inwards. To add a little bit of Christmas party glitz to the eye, we're going to go in with this shade here, which is called Beaming, and we're going to use the E60 large shader brush. This is the perfect shape to really help us pack on that colour. To add a little bit more depth back to the eye now that we've put our Christmas party glitz on top, I'm going back in with the E45 small tapered blending brush, and I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this shade here, which is called Child's. Again, with this colour we're just going into the socket line, and this is just going to give us a little bit of added warmth. I'm just concentrating this on the outer corner of the eye. I'm just using soft circular motions to buff that in. If you feel like you've got any harsh edges like this bit here, just switch to your blending brush and just diffuse those edges. Using this blending brush just to diffuse those edges again in really soft, light motions. I'm going to keep a really light hand with this. And if you hold your brush a little bit lower down, it also makes sure that you have a lighter touch. If you were to hold it up here, you tend to dig into the skin a little bit more, so just hold your brush at the bottom and just buffing gently. Now we've done our eyeshadow on the top lids, we're going to move to the lower lash line. So we're going to use the same two colours that we've used on the top of the lid for the bottom, just to add a little bit more definition. So we're going to start with the shade Toasty, and then we're going to put a little bit of henna on top and blend them both together. To apply the transition shade, I'm going to use the E55 Eye Shading Brush. This is a little bit denser than the other brushes and will help you to pack the colour on in a really concentrated way. So we're just using a packing motion to apply the colour to the lower lash line. And once you've added that first shade, just use your same E45 tapered blending brush just to diffuse those edges. And then we're going to take the same brush again and take a little bit of henna and just build onto that colour. So again, just in a packing motion. You'll find it easier to get to your under eye area if you look up slightly while you're doing this. Just opens the space up a little bit and gives you more area to work. And again, switch into your tapered blending brush just to blend those edges in. And take it right to the corner to smoke it out. Next, we're going to add a little bit of eyeliner to the top lash line. This will just help us to get some extra definition, and we're going to use the Sigma gel eyeliner in the shade Wicked and the E65 small angled brush to help us do this. So I'm just going to take a small amount onto the brush. This is a really nice soft eyeliner. It's really easy to apply, it's so silky smooth. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand and just really make sure that the brush is nice and flat. And then I'm just going to lift the lid slightly and just nestle the brush right in between the lash line and the lid. I'm just going across in a pressing and swiping motion. Just getting really close to that lash line. If you use an angled brush like this, it really does the work for you. And just gives you that lovely definition. So now that Sally has put a little bit of mascara on to complete the eye makeup look, we're going to go back to our base and perfect the rest of our look. So the first thing we're going to do is just brush away that little bit of powder to get rid of any fall down from the eye makeup. Just going to gently buff it away just like this. Just use a really light motion and just sweep it away. So now we're just going to take a little bit more of the loose powder and we're just going to put a tiny amount over the areas where we tend to get a little bit more oily through the day and night, which is on the T-zone, so just across this area. And we're just using a really light touch with this powder and down the nose. And also a small amount just on the chin. Because this is for a Christmas party and Zali is probably going to be eating and drinking through the night, I'm just going to put a little bit extra powder just around the nose and mouth area, just to hold everything in place all night. Next, using the same large angled contour brush, we're going to start contouring and sculpting our face. So we're going to firstly go in with this shade here, which is called Faking It, and we're going to use this to add a little bit more extra definition to the face. So we're just going to concentrate this on the cheekbone here, and just pack on and swipe upwards to blend. So we're working this colour up towards the temples and blending into the hairline, and that just gives our face that lovely natural lifted look. To add a little bit of warmth to the face, we're going to go in with the F30 large powder brush, and we're going to go in with this shade here, which is called Throw Shade. So we're just working this over the contour colour, and we're also going to go up onto the forehead. Next we're going to add a little bit of highlight, so we're switching back to our F40 large angled contour brush, and we're going to use the shade Shine On here, which is more of a champagne shimmer. So for the highlight, we're just going to concentrate on the high points of the cheekbone and just work up towards the temple. I'm going to use a nice light touch with this to get that really nice lit from within glow. To add a little pop of colour to the cheeks, we're going to go in with this blush, which is in the shade Mod Mauve, and because we only want a really small amount of colour, we're going to use the Duo Fibre brush, which is the F50. This is going to help us to pick up a little bit less colour and help us to really blend the colour in, so it looks like we've got the blush coming from within. Now that our base and eyes are complete, Sally is going to pop some lipstick on and then she will be party ready. So the lipstick that Sally has used is Sigma's Infinity Point lipstick, and the colour is Red Velvet.
Making angels in the sand.